Hello everyone, welcome to the last session of Genetics Introduction or Genetic Terminologies. So in this session, we'll be going through the division. So in the last class of the last session, we saw the details of the cell cycle. And today we'll see the important events that occur during mitosis and meiosis, which we require when you discuss genetics, genetic problems, how genes are being transferred or how characters are being transferred from one generation to other, etc. So when we discuss something in that context, or when we are discussing about the Mendel's experiment and the coming set of theories which is related to genetics, we require a background of the knowledge which is of mitosis and meiosis, especially in meiosis. So this particular discussion we will be looking on with the events of mitosis and meiosis. So before that, in this particular slide, you can see the number of chromatins. That is a number of chromatin in two different chromosomes, uh, which we discussed in the last class. So it's just to recap of that. So you can see this is before S phase. You can say take it as during the G1 phase. During the G1 phase, these are two chromosomes. I take it as two homologous chromosome. This is chromosome number 1, and this is also chromosome number 1. These are the homologous chromosomes, and these homologous chromosomes, they are having one chromatid each in this particular phase, which is called as G1 phase. This particular chromosome is having one chromatid, and this is having the other chromatid. So chromatid, as we discussed in the last class, it is nothing but it is the double helical DNA, a single double helical DNA which is condensed in the form of a solenoid. You call that as a single chromatid, or such a structure which is derived from a double helical DNA is called as a chromatid. And as you see here, the particular process replication which happens during the S phase, what happens is each of these chromatid is replicating and producing the daughter chromatid as a result. And here you can see these are called as sister chromatids. These are sister chromatid, and this is sister chromatid. So sister chromatids are produced as a result of, or they are generated as a result of replication of a chromatid, and hence sister chromatids will be like clones because it is exact copy, because they are replicated, or they are a result of replication. As a result, they are identical to each other. Identical in the sense they can be considered as clone, because it will be like mirror images. What is present in one sister chromatid will be present exactly in the same manner in the other sister chromatid. So after replication, each chromosome will have two chromatid each, as shown in the diagram. So this diagram was placed in order to get a clear idea of regarding the number of chromatid, because these number of chromatid, etc., uh, that is required when we discuss genetics, because when you do genetic problems, such confusions should not be there regarding the number of chromatid that is present in the different phases of the cell cycle. So I think this part of the number of chromatid in each part of cell cycle, which we discussed earlier, is clear to all. So this is the other diagram which is shown here. This is another image, or a detailed image of the particular process of uh, cell cycle. So in this particular thing, you can see what are the events which are happening in each and every phase. So the three phases, that is G1S and G2 together, it is called as the interphase, as shown here. And you have the fourth phase, which is called as the M phase. It can either be mitosis in the somatic cells or meiosis in germ cells. Germ cells are the cells which produces either the sperms or the eggs. So in those cells, M phase can be meiosis. In normal cells, the M phase will include mitosis. So M phase encompasses two events, and M phase, if it is both mitosis or meiosis, it will encompass two events, either mitosis or meiosis plus cytokinesis. Mitosis or meiosis is nothing but it is division of the nucleus. That means these events happen only in eukaryotic cell. Please keep in mind that cell cycle is an event that is seen only in eukaryotic cells with a nucleus or a nuclear membrane. Only such cells or only eukaryotic cell have such an event which is called as cell cycle. And here in M phase, what happens is, in M phase we can see two events. Well, the first event is either mitosis or meiosis depending upon the type of cell, as I mentioned earlier. If it is a somatic cell, it will be mitosis, and if it is a germ cell, it will be meiosis. Apart from mitosis or meiosis, another event occurs common in M phase, which is cytokinesis. That means after the nucleus divides, it is followed by the division of the cytoplasm, which is called as cytokinesis. So these are the two events which you see in, or which occur during the phase which is called as the M phase. So you can see in G1 the cell grows and carries out the normal functions, etc. The organelles duplicate. As phase DNA replication occurs, G1 also it is preparing for mitosis. It is also called as the preparatory phase. So this is about the cell cycle. So in this particular session, we'll be discussing about this particular event which is called as the M phase. So in M phase, we will not be discussing each and every step in mitosis or meiosis. In the discussion for genetics, we will be seeing every events, what is happening in every event, but we will be detailing on two events which occur during mitosis or meiosis, which is nothing but the metaphase as well as anaphase. It is at this particular point or this particular phases we have the important events which should be connected to our genetic problems. So keep in mind, we'll be discussing about these two events or these two phases in detail, which is metaphase as well as anaphase, both in mitosis as well as in meiosis. So we'll begin this particular session on mitosis and meiosis. So mitosis or meiosis, as I said, it is nothing but the division of the nucleus. It is a type of division of the nucleus that is called as mitosis or meiosis. So the major differences between these two divisions are mitosis usually occurs in somatic cells, and mitosis, the particular type of division, is mainly concerned with either growth or repair. So growth or repair in the sense that when you have a cut or a wound in your skin, what happens is the skin cells, so wound healing process or the immune cell process occurs. Apart from that, the wound healing process also requires this particular type of division which is called as mitosis. So mitosis occurs in such a particular thing which is called as a particular event which is called as a repair. So in repair systems or in repair processes, mitosis is the type of division that takes place. And the other particular phase where mitosis is seen as growth. So everywhere in growth, that means the growth of the embryo from a single cell zygote, the single cell divides into 2, then into 4, then into 8. So all those divisions, that means each and every one of us is because of this particular type of division which is called as mitosis. That means we were formed as a single cell zygote by the fusion of an egg and sperm from the father and the mother. We were formed as a single cell which is called as a zygote, and from that zygote we traveled a long distance to become a human with all organ systems, etc. And that particular change from a single cell to a complete organism is due to this particular division, which is called as mitosis. So mitosis is the type of division that is mainly concerned with growth as well as uh, repair. The other division of the nucleus, which is meiosis. So meiosis is restricted to the group of cells which are called as germ cells or gamete forming cell, both in sexually reproducing organisms. The male as well as the female gamete, the male gamete or the sperm, and the female gamete or the ova or the egg or the oocyte is produced as a result of this particular division, which is called as meiosis. So the this particular event, which is called as either the two events or the two types of division, mitosis or meiosis. uh, the first one, which is mitosis, as I said, it is mainly concerned with the growth and repair. This type of division give rise to daughter cells, which will be exactly similar to that of the mother cell. That means the two daughter cells which are formed after mitosis. So a single cell, it divides into two, and that particular cells which are formed after mitosis will be exactly similar to that of the parent in every aspects, especially in the number of chromosome. For example, if our cell, as the case may be, a wound is healing, so as all our cells are having 23 pairs of chromosomes or 46 chromosomes, during repair, the skin cells or the stem cells which are present, they divide and they give rise to the skin cells which is going to heal the wound. All the cells which are produced or which are produced to heal the wound, that is by the division which is called as mitosis. So the cells which are generated to heal the wound due to the division which is called as mitosis will have the same number of chromosome. That means they will have the same number of chromosome as that of the parent cell, which is 46. So, and that is why this particular division is also called as equational division. That means the mother as well as the parent cell or the daughter cell will be same, or they will have similar number of chromosome. But when you come to meiosis, so meiosis is a division, it is a type of or it is a mechanism which ensures what is called as the haploid life stage of a diploid organism. So this particular type of division, which is meiosis, is usually seen in diploid organism. Diploid organism means they are so we'll talk about diploid organism. We are talking about meiosis. So meiosis is this particular event which ensures the stage which is called as the haploid stage in the life of a diploid organism. So in every diploid organism, their life is a cycle. Cycle in the sense that in their life stage, they will have a particular phase which is called as haploid stage, and this haploid stage again it will cycle into the diploid phase. So this diploid organism's haploid phase is brought about by this particular event which is called as meiosis, and again the coming back or the return of this haploid phase to the diploid phase is ensured by another event which is called as fertilization. Okay, so what happens here is, the gist is that uh, in a diploid organism, so we'll talk about diploid organism in the coming session. So in a diploid organism, meiosis which will ensure the haploid stage of their life cycle, and the event which is called as fertilization will ensure the coming back into the diploid phase. So what happens here is, so first we'll talk about these two terms, which is haploid as well as diploid, and we'll talk about the cycle. So coming to the term which is called as the diploid organisms. So diploid organisms are nothing but they are those organisms which are having two sets of chromosome. So we are also diploid organism, and we say that we are having 23 pairs of chromosome. So 23 pairs in the sense that we are having chromosomes in two sets, that is 1 to 23 in one set. The similar 1 to 23 we have in the other set, and both these together makes our 46 chromosome. So what is the difference between this 1 to 23 in the first set and the 1 to 23 in the second set? The difference and the similarity is that the difference is the first 1 to 23 set we get it from the mother, and the second set is the one we get it from the father. That is, the first 1 to 23, that means uh, uh, these particular set, that is in a diploid organism you will have two sets of chromosome uh, which have the same genes, etc. That's why we call it as the same chromosome or the homologous chromosome. As we discussed earlier, they are homologous chromosome. So you have two sets of if an organism is having two sets of homologous chromosomes, you call them as diploid organisms. So in a diploid organism, the first set of chromosome is donated by the father through the sperms, and the second set is donated by the mother through the egg. So that's why I said we talked about the the haploid phase, or the haploid means diploid means, as I said, when you have two sets of the same chromosome or the homologous chromosome, you call that organism as haploid. And if you're having only one set of chromosome, that means only 23, that is called as haploid phase or the haploidy. So if you have two sets of the same chromosome, it is diploidy. If you have a single set of chromosome, you call it as haploidy. So as I said, in a diploid organism, you have a cycle between the haploid phase and the diploid phase. And we said that for the diploid organism, the haploid phase is ensured by our division, which is called as meiosis. And this particular reversal is done by the process which is called as fertilization. So what happens here is, in a diploid organism, in the germ cells or the particular gonads, the testicles in the case of males and ovary in the case of females, in these two organs, in sexually reproducing organism, in these two organs, in the testes as well as in the ovary, the particular process of meiosis occurs. So this occurs in a diploid organism, in the cells which are called as diploid cells, which will form the ova or the egg. They will undergo the process of meiosis. So here comes the difference between meiosis and mitosis. So meiosis, as we said in mitosis, after mitosis we get the resulting cell is same as that of the parent cell, but in meiosis the resulting daughter cell will have half the number of chromosome as that of the parent cell. So half the number means, so this is the total in a diploid human. Half means it will have 23 chromosome. So 23 means, we said, it is one set, and that is called as haploidy. So the process called as meiosis is ensuring the haploid life stage of a diploid organism. That means the diploid organism is producing either, if he or he is if in a male it results in the production of sperm, and in a female it results in the production of ova or the egg. And both these ova or the sperm, they are haploid with 23 number of chromosome, which means they are haploid. Both the sperm as well as the egg, they are haploid. So meiosis in male will result in the haploid sperms. Meiosis in females result in the haploid ova. So what happens is, in the next stage, which I said, that is the going back of the restoring diploidy. So restoring diploidy is by the process which is called as fertilization, where the sperm and the egg meet and they fertilize, and the resulting in the production of a single cell which is called as zygote. So this is the cycle of life of a diploid organism between the diploid as well as the haploid phase. So for a diploid organism, an example is a human being, the haploid life stages, the haploid phase of their life is is indicated, or the haploid life stage is produced as a result of meiosis, and the re-ensuring diploidy is done by the process called as fertilization. Okay, so we'll stop for the session now, and we'll discuss more about meiosis as well as meiosis in the next session.